I've been thinking about things this week. You enjoyed the video where I was explaining the things that I learned after I turned 35, and I thought of like kind of continuing the series because I was not really understanding what it meant to grow older and to age, which I think is a bit of a charged word, and I don't think it really gives the sort of value that aging really is all about. I was thinking of sharing some things that I've learned during the past 5 years. I do feel that as we age, we always have the option to choose for ourselves, so we always have the option to really build habits, and through those daily habits we can build our character into something that we think we are or see ourselves to be. And I didn't really understand this when I was younger. I just thought that, I'll just do this thing and then the next I would do something else. But I was not consciously making decisions that would have been taking me closer to what I wanted to really focus on and the direction that I wanted to be going for. And I feel like it really took me these years to understand fully who I was and who I wasn't, and also to distinguish better what were those actions that I wanted to take in order to sort of shift my focus from specific things to other things. Yes, I've been shifting my focus definitely, but I also became more gentle with myself, knowing that if I have some sort of direction or goal that I wanted to reach, I knew that I'd get there even if I had days where I didn't do anything for those goals. I was just going through the days instead of doing something throughout those days that would take me closer to my goal. And I've learned to really accept it and appreciate those moments where I really have the freedom to just be still and be present and understand that this is also part of the journey of becoming that version of yourself. And when I was younger, I really thought that life will be over by the time I'm 30, which is just now seems kind of silly and stupid to even think about that. But I also think that our society sort of shows it that way, that people who are having the most fun in life are usually younger people. We have this sort of thought or way of thinking that once we grow older, all the fun will just, exit our lives. I wanted to share the things that I have noticed that have been really crucial in me sort of feeling like every year I feel like I'm living more, like I'm really growing into the person and personality that I want to embody in my life. And knowing that it's a very slow process, like if I want to sort of build myself again, I know that it will not be overnight, and I know that it will require me to let go of a lot of habits that are not serving me and then try to implement a lot of new habits that are more beneficial for me. But it's a tough road, and I felt that not every time I feel like shifting myself into that direction, and on those days I'm giving myself permission to just sort of fall back into those old patterns for a bit. I always know that it's not permanent, so I always know that it's only a temporary day or a temporary stop to when I spend my times there. So I know that I'll eventually get out of those days too, and I make decisions with this sort of softness and easiness, knowing that I know who I am and I know the things that I want to do and the things that will take me closer to my goals. So I'm not really worried about the days that I'm not fully there, or the days where I might feel a bit more down or not seeing the whole picture and really focusing on small things that are not really benefiting me in any way, because we'll always have those days. But today I really wanted to talk more about the time frames that we set for ourselves. Like I feel when I was younger, I felt like there is literally nothing after you turn 30. I really thought that everything that I wanted to do or accomplish needed to happen in my younger years, because I thought that I was then the most capable, the most active physically and mentally, and also just the most open towards everything that was happening in my life. So I felt like that was my prime time to do all those things. But that was also the time when I had the lowest self-esteem, and I felt that I was only feeding that low self-esteem because I didn't know anything about neuroplasticity, psychology, meditation. I didn't know anything about all those things and habits that I've later on implemented in my life that really made a difference in how I saw myself, both obviously externally but also internally. Like, who did I see myself to be? What were the actions and habits that I needed to really get to know and kind of implement in my life in order to become that version of myself. And I thought of sharing these habits. I was not really aware of the changes that would come. Your body changing. Your body will obviously eventually change. I studied personal training, so I became a personal trainer when I was about 25. And I remember then thinking I was working out so much. I was exercising a lot. I remember always thinking that it was so easy for me, and I didn't really have healthy habits outside that exercising, like outside that activity that I was having at the gym. Like I was being super active on my free time, but I was drinking a lot. I was not conscious about what I ate. I didn't really think about whether the food made me feel good or not, and I didn't really restrict myself in any ways, which is of course understandable. I was young. I didn't see the need to do that, and it was just something that came naturally. I understand later on why, because after that I met my boyfriend, who I'm dating at the moment, and I became so comfortable around him, which is a good sign, but also I became so lost within him, so I started to sort of neglect myself. And you know what it's like to be in a relationship. You really enjoy food together, going out, and drinking wine, and I noticed that my body, it rapidly changed, and I was not really secure about it. I became very insecure in that, and it sort of like reflected itself into our relationship. Now that I know better who I am and what is the direction that I want to take, I know that exercising and just being active within your body and movement in general is very important. I wasn't very aware of the changes because it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that takes some time, but then you wake up one day and you notice that you're not really comfortable in your body, or you don't feel good in the vessel that you have. So I started to implement a lot of conscious exercise. Also, I changed all my eating habits and understood that alcohol really wasn't for me in the way that I was consuming it before. So I started to really pay attention, and with that also came the level of wellness through my body, which of course had to do with my alcohol consumption, my eating habits, and just everything that will eventually reflect onto your body and onto your mental health. I couldn't really predict how my body would change because that is not something that you're even aware of when you're younger, because that is not in your visible reality. So how you treat your body throughout your years and when you grow older, it can really make a difference in how you feel about aging and growing older, and how capable you are both mentally and physically in doing specific things. Like I also feel that exercising and movement in general always helps me with my mental frustration, if I have any, so I can really get out of my head and into my body. And once I move my body, I feel that sort of all those problems that I had or issues they just become a bit tinier after I get out of my mind and into my body. I feel like exercising really prepares you to go through difficult challenges in life, because I feel that physical exercise also boosts your mental strength, just to know that you can really handle anything that comes your way. But if I wouldn't be exercising myself and really pushing myself through moving my body, on the days that I don't have as much movement, I notice that I'm sort of falling back into those habits and thought patterns that were not very fruitful for me when I was younger. So I try to move my body daily on some sort of levels. I feel I enjoy my life better when I move and when I'm capable of moving. I know that I can really restore my body and my health, both physical and mental health, if I keep on moving and moving my body. So definitely that was something that I knew when I was younger, but I feel that became way more important after I turned 30. Another thing that I was not really aware of, I had a lot of friends in different friend groups. Felt like I was just coming along with everyone. I had great relations to everyone around me, and I'm not saying that I don't have them now, but after I turned 30, I would definitely say during the past couple of years, I became more aware of the people that I let in, because I understand that the consumption of anything, whether it's food, social media, or people in your life, it's all the same. You let something in and you let power to that specific person or situation or their beliefs, their opinions. I became more conscious of the people that I let into my life, the people that I let into the events of my life. Evil eye is really a thing. So if you share things with people who don't want the best for you or don't have the best intentions, it will drain you somehow, and you will notice that you're oversharing with people who you don't have to overshare, the people who you don't even have to share your time with. I became very conscious in how I spend my time and who I was spending it with. I can honestly say I have been shedding a lot of friends and people during the past couple of years, but it has also been a very much of a learning experience where I've learned more about myself, and I've learned who are those people who I can be authentically myself and who are the ones who are cheering me on instead of judging my decisions or judging the way I live. Be very mindful about it because it will affect the way you see yourself and the way you energetically show up, because these people will not let you be yourself authentically. And I didn't really believe in this myself. Like, you'd be seeing this on TikToks and on social media, but there really is no time limit. The only limitation there is the one you set for yourself. Once I realized this, I became very excited about life. I became enthusiastic. I became curious and more childlike in my life, where I understood that the only person who can restrict me from doing the things I want to do is myself. And even if that is a very simple truth to know, it is very difficult also to understand this and change those thought patterns so that you can shift from certain habits or certain beliefs that you have about yourself. This journey will never really end. There's always something new that I learn every year about myself and about the way I think, about the goals that I want to reach. And the more I get to know myself, the more I trust myself, the more curious and creative I become, because I understand that I can build myself. I can create my life externally and also internally, and it gets me really excited about everything that I have, but also about the things that I don't physically yet visibly have or embody in my daily life. So it doesn't feel like I'm lacking anything. It feels like this moment is perfect for this specific period in my life, and that's why all shortcomings, all obstacles are just stepping stones. I'm more accepting of knowing that these things are going to pass, and I just need to let them pass me and kind of go through me in a way, and understand that there's always something I can learn about things if I'm open towards learning. But knowing that you really have unlimited time. As long as you have your health, you can do a lot of things that you feel that you cannot do. Like you might have restrictions about yourself, but truly those restrictions are just the ones you put on yourself mentally. These are the ingredients that will keep you more open towards life, more open towards new events and new ways of living your life, and just understanding that you're the creator of your life and you can truly decide to do things differently, even starting from now. It is a slow process, and you have to start becoming very patient with yourself, and knowing that years of specific programming that you've had in your childhood, in your younger years, it will take some work for you to reprogram yourself and starting to love yourself. Also, this is very important, and I think we're all struggling with that, but definitely I can say that I value and love myself way more than I did years ago. Seeing that change being possible, I understand that everything really is possible, but you just need to be very consistent, just being very clear about what you want and taking just small steps towards that. You are able to eventually change the outside, but first you need to really dig on the inside. I filmed this video before this, and it was so perfect. I was choosing the perfect words. I felt that I was really able to explain a lot of things, and once I had to do this all over again, I felt that maybe I forgot something, but there are definitely more things that you can learn once you're like growing older. How is it not exciting to know yourself better, to be financially more capable of doing the things that you enjoy doing, and just to be more aware of the decisions that you make, because these daily decisions are building our daily habits, and the daily habits actually build our life. Understanding this, I became very conscious with my words, how much I limited myself with words, but also with my actions, how I spoke about myself, how I spoke about others. So understand that you can be whatever you decide to be, and that's a wonderful feeling.